We are gonna go underneath of Virginia City, Nevada, in 2 different mines.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Christina.
And I'm Randy. Are you ready for an adventure?
Come see our journey.
In this adventure, we're going underneath of Virginia City in 2 different mines. The first one starts out in the back of a saloon, and it is dug deep into the hillside. All of Virginia City, Nevada is built on a hillside that is honeycombed with the Comstock silver mines.
So at this part right here, I point out the wall. If that wall did not exist, we would go back another 200 feet. Then, whoa, 550-foot drop. About the gold rush. So technically it is, but technically it's not. We got 10 years later. The gold rush ended. The West Coast had all these prospectors. Everyone was looking for a new mine. They just wanted that next big strike. They said the toughest 49ers crossed the Sierras to come to the Virginia City strike. Some of them got here and they didn't realize how freaking awesome this mountain really is. And they're like, this little bit of silver, this is stupid, screw this. And they turned around and left. They shouldn't have. A lot of good silver mining here. We had our gold mining over here in Gold Hill, hence the name Gold Hill. Have you guys been to Gold Hill or through Gold Hill?
We drove through it.
Yeah, it's a creepy little town on the way to, which is the deepest mine shaft here in Virginia City. 3,261 feet deep. That's pretty deep. Y'all agree? Yeah. To get the good stuff, you gotta go deep. And it turns out there's water down there, and it's like, heck yeah, I love water. You guys like water? Yeah, this is a failed display. Just ignore that. It's failed. No, not this one. That's a failed display. I want to try to turn that into a refrigerator, actually. It's gonna be a fun little project. All right, so what do we have here? We have the powder room. When I say powder room, I'm not talking about cosmetics or Studio 54. I'm talking about dynamite. Black powder is blowing up people in the mines to about 1872. They didn't catch word in 1867. A Swedish chemist invented something that's just as strong as black powder, but a heck of a lot safer to handle.
There it is. What you had?
Just waiting for it. Okay, actually, a lot of these mines are going to be here to the end of time because they're not exposed to the elements. So there's no oxygen getting to them, no moisture. Not go up to the surface. It goes down about 550 feet and helps ventilate 7 or 8 other mines. Then they fill in with backfill, put all the equipment away. All right, so this ore car. How much do you guys think that weighs?
A ton.
Ton? Close.
That's a good guess.
You got half a ton.
Okay.
When the mining begun, this half-ton cart was being pulled by a mule and hemp rope. The mules were born and bred in mines. They never saw the light of day. Have you guys seen the wild horses around?
No. We saw the signs.
No one? It makes me look crazy. Okay, I'm not crazy. We have wild horses in abundance around here. So why are they using mules and not horses? Aren't horses stronger and better and cooler? Yes. Could you imagine walking a horse through here and his ears graze the top and he freaks out on you and kicks you in the face? They were mining pretty deep. Do you think that hemp rope was working out?
No.
So the flat iron cable was invented here in Virginia City, 1863, and that was to be pulled by the hoist to replace those poor mules. The hoist was ran on compressed air as everything was back then. The hoist was ran on compressed air as everything was back then. Okay, y'all. The year is 1853. The pneumatic drill that I sit on does not exist yet. Dynamite does not exist yet. How in the heck did they start the mining?
A pick.
I was thinking fingernails. Cool, you're on the chisel. So while Scott is hitting the chisel that Cole's holding, he's going to rotate the chisel. Scott were to actually miss and hit him with the hammer, it's all good. Because they'll switch off, he will get revenge.
No.
I'm sure that happened a lot too, because not only was it dark, like I was saying before, and this was the universal symbol to not hit. Oh.
No, people lost their thumbs, I'm sure.
They were also pretty drunk. Water was scarce at the time. Whiskey, 25 cents a bottle. It's a catch-22 because alcohol dehydrates you. They said in a 10-hour shift, they're advancing 3 feet by hand. They call this the working phase. Then here comes along this dynamite and pneumatic drill, making stuff easier, but not really safer. Here on the ground, that is the original pneumatic drill that they called the Widowmaker. And it wasn't called the Widowmaker because it would occasionally blow up like a giant hand grenade. Have you guys ever used a drill that got stuck on you and the handle spins out?
Oh, yeah.
It would occasionally do that, knock someone out, break an arm. They called that the Widowmaker because there's no ventilation. So they're doing all this drilling in a soft mountain, breathing in dust, dirt, debris, mixes with saliva in their lungs, creates cement, causing scar tissue, giving them scoliosis, miner's lung. Then with the next pneumatic drill with piping and fresh water, got them that ventilation they needed. All right. Y'all see that wall? If that wall was not standing, we would be able to go back another 200 feet, then the 550-foot drop. What I'm going to do now is go to my corner.
Is that a lighter?
Who here? A lighter? Who here is Necrophobic?
No, I'm not.
You know what Necrophobic means?
I'm feeling.
Spiders or something?
No, like he's going to turn the lights off.
Arachnophobia? Oh, there we go.
This is how the mining begun. It'd be teams of 20 to 40. A lot of times that flame would be even smaller due to carbon monoxide. It's not much light, is it?
No.
Yeah, but a little bit of light is better than none. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that.
All right. So we got,
There we go.
I'm trying to, what was the name of my miners? Where are my miners?
Scott,
Here, Scott and Cole.
Scott and Cole.
Yeah. Sir.
All right. So they got their hammer and their chisel, and they got their light, and they got their whiskey, of course, and they got their
Bird.
got that reference. Yes, so what we have right here is the original carbon monoxide detector. Over in Cornwall, England, that's where a lot of these miners came from. They were Cornish and they were Scottish. They got tin mines over there. And when they be working in their tin mines, they have a male canary in a cage with them at all times. A male canary is like us human males. We never shut up to attract the female. So a male canary is constantly chirping, trying to attract the female. So they're working, knows that bird stops chirping, something's wrong with the air, it's time to go. Or if there's a cave-in and they're trapped and they're running out of air, the canary will fade out its chirp rather than abruptly stopping. This will help the miner to relax, regulate his breathing, and not panic. Because you're running out of air, last thing you want to do is panic, but I'm sure it's easier said than done. We don't have canaries in Virginia City. So a lot of the canaries were brought over with the miners. Some people made good money breeding them. Most of them went by their mules over here. You guys remember me talking about mules?
Yeah.
Well, if you notice your mule's acting funny or making weird noises, something's wrong with the air. It's time to get out. Or you notice your mule's dead, you should have got out 5 minutes ago. They would also give crumbs of their lunch to the rats. The rats would get used to them and the rats would hang out. They would use the rats as indicator for danger. You see all these rats running in one direction. It's like the scene from the Titanic. Follow the rats to safety. Bad stuff going on the other way. Cave-in, flood, fire, etc. When they're mining really deep or it's really hot, they were on their own. Canary can't survive. They got a good whiskey buzz. And in a couple hours, when they finish their shift, they're going to get a better whiskey buzz. But they just got to keep working, finish the shift. But all of a sudden, they feel movement down by their boots. They look down to see all these rats running in one direction. Then they start hearing the mule. The mule's making a funny noise. And with that little bit of light, they see the mule's dragging his head on the ground. Okay, that animal's not acting right. And they also notice the canary. The canary stops singing. And all of a sudden, their flame's like... It's time for them to crawl out. Oh, they're ruining it over here with light. Sorry. You guys see how dark it was?
Yeah.
So we spent about an hour deep in the heart of Virginia City, looking at the Comstock lode mines. It's a nice way to cool off on a hot afternoon because the mines are underground are very cool.
I got a hook on those.
Here she is in a mine shaft.
That's wild.
Really heavy.
Yeah.
I gave her
Do
the
they
shaft.
weigh like every, do they take like a foot of it and weigh it? And
I actually could not tell you about what.
Looks like you guys got to get your own personal equipment.
Break out!
That's a good point. Right. So,
On the opposite end of Virginia City is the Chollar Mine, and we had to drive over to go to that.
To find the source. This mine was started by a guy named Billy Chollar. Billy Chollar was originally from Connecticut, and he came out to California during the gold rush. He was going to make his fortune doing placer mining. Well, he found out that was a lot of hard work. He said, I don't want to do this. So he moved to Grass Valley, California, and became a farmer. Thought that was even harder work. So I really don't like this. So now you figure some of these mines went thousands of feet back in. You had lots of people working in there. You couldn't afford to have them go in and out just to go to the bathroom. And you couldn't have them just go anywhere back there. So they wheel these in, they put a little bit of water in the bottom, and they put creosote over the top. Creosote's that black stuff you see on power poles and railroad ties. It's not a great smell, but it's better than human waste. After it got full, they'd put a bucket up underneath, open the valve, drain it to the bucket, carry the bucket out.
While he was explaining about the mine, he said, use caution as there is a deep portion of water on the side of the trail in the mine, which is caused by groundwater that needs to run off. So if you watch to the very end, you're going to see that I had to test to see if it was deep or not, and sure enough, I walked right into it on the way out of the mine.
All right, I need to know who the last person in is going to be.
What are they? That's it. The rest is not coming.
So here we go, deep into our second mine. This one has a low overhead and a very narrow passageway to get our way down into the ground.
Okay, do we have everybody?
Almost ready.
Almost.
Almost.
it's just really low right there.
I'm actually standing straight up.
Getting better, getting better.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's getting lower. How low can you go?
We got bumper cars.
So far? This is as far as we're going.
Okay.
All right. Well, we just drifted to the mountainside 450 feet, which is what the miners did. It brought them back to this area. This is where they found a big deposit of high-grade ore. So they dug all this out. It's just a big open room here. Okay. This is called a stope. S-T-O-P-E. And these are all throughout the Comstock. They're everywhere. Some are much, much bigger. Some are smaller, but they're everywhere. And you'd have cave-ins. The way these timbers are notched, it can't come apart. Okay? It made it much safer. There's no humidity back here, so it's very dry, so the wood doesn't rot. These are original timbers.
Oh. And these was what year?
1870s. Now, these are built differently in here than they are out in the shafts. The ones in the shafts are just posts and caps. So they did have caves. But right here's the ore vein they were following. This is what was carrying the gold. Now this was low grade, which is why they left it. It cost more to get it out than what it was worth. But back then they were following a high grade ore vein, and they followed that down wherever it took them. In this case it went down 200 feet. So we had to have a way to get the ore from them down there up here. We did it by using this big ore bucket. That's 200 pounds sitting over our head right there.
Wow.
Yeah. Now that make you feel good? All right, so before we had those jackleg drills, there was our drill. And there was our drill bit. Now you see how it's wedged out on the end here? We're going to do the same thing with this as jackleg drills did, only by hand. We put this up to the ore face. We would hit it and turn it a quarter turn. Hit and turn. Hit and turn. I'm going to do it down here so you can see better what it's doing. We'd put it up to the ore face. We would hit it and turn it. Hit it and turn it. See how it's making a bigger hole than the rest of the drill bit? That way we can get that hole drilled and get the bit back out. So I can keep hitting it and it'll drive in, but I'll just have a big spike in there. So hit and turn, hit and turn. This is called a single jack. Now if I was holding it and somebody else was hitting it, that'd be a double jack. So what's 3 people doing it called?
It's triple jack.
A government job. So, after they found that was silver, guess what they were doing with all their trash out there? They started mining their trash.
Lower.
Oops, I went right into it. Oh well. That's the way life goes. There you go. See?
Okay. I'm doing it.
If you enjoyed our vlog, please subscribe
And ring that notification bell.
and give us a like. It lets us know you care.
And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.